Odell Beckham Jr. kicked off an American Airlines flight. At first glance, it looks like OBJ is a little bit under the weather, probably had a long night in Miami, maybe getting after it, trying to get some sleep, who knows. OBJ is on an early morning flight from Miami to LA. He's sitting in first class on an American Airlines flight. Take it from me, folks, I had at least 2 American Airlines flights canceled last year. Not great, but if an airline stewardess or captain or anybody else that works for them tells you got to get off the plane, well, get off the plane. You're not going to move the world. You're not going to move heaven and earth. Arguing with a flight attendant would be like getting pulled over and a police officer says, all right, you're going to jail. Like, your time to fight is not then. Keep your mouth shut. Follow instruction. Let's hear what Fire and Rescue has to say about OBJ's condition.
No responsive. They're trying to get to a mouse. He's
probably on a deep sleep. You know where you're at, sir?
Contain anything?
He's probably tired.
Okay.
He looks good to me.
Careful. Where's his pants?
Oh, sure.
Where's the baby's pants?
What do you mean?
He only got his underwear.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on.
Are they on now?
Yeah. They weren't on before? No.
Okay. Go back, Brian.
Okay.
Go back.
Go back? We're good.
Yes. Yeah? We're good?
Okay.
You know how many times you've shaken him to put his seatbelt on and he
Listen,
didn't respond?
If you don't want him to fly, that's a decision that you guys are going to have to make. That's, you tell the captain, and then we'll get him out. But that's something that you guys got to make.
Multiple times, multiple people. Hey, sir, put your seatbelt on. All we're getting is this.
This is a 5-hour flight.
Yeah, this is 5 hours.
Be going with us.
Then that's up to you guys.
Yeah,
That's up to you guys. But medically, if he doesn't want us to check him out, I can't make again. And I don't really say anything wrong. He might be tired or have taken a long trip and doesn't want to follow orders. That's a whole other animal.
He told her he just came from a club.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. He's tired.
And he's taking stuff.
All right, so in defense of Odell, I'm sure there are plenty of people in Miami getting their fix in until the last minute. They get to the airport. If they're flying Frontier or Spirit, they'd be like, sorry, you didn't get here 3 hours ahead of time. We're not checking your bag. But they're flying American Airlines. As the airline does have the right to say who flies and who doesn't. We're in an interesting predicament here, though, because the flight goes back to the gate. Fire rescue comes on. They check out Odell. They say, do you know where you are? They think that he's in a deep sleep. And they tell the flight attendants, hey, look, we are not going to be responsible for removing Odell from the flight. You are going to have to do that if you don't feel comfortable with him on your aircraft. And that is American Airlines' right to do, right? They can tell Odell to get off the plane. But Fire Rescue makes very clear, we don't think there's anything wrong with OBJ. And oh, by the way, it's not on us, right? Make that abundantly clear. This next part's super interesting because we get to hear a little bit of Odell's side of the story.
3830.
How you doing, bud? Rene Garcia, Sergeant with Miami-Dade Police Department. Nice to meet you. Listen, unfortunately, it's not our decision. Just listen, apparently you were passed out. They had to wake you up. They had to come back.
I've taken off many times before the plane is taken off. I've fallen asleep. Woken up in the middle of the flight. 13-hour flight. Woke up 8 hours into the flight. Asked to have food. Any airline in the world. I never had this happen to me. It's embarrassing.
No, I get it's embarrassing, but apparently...
All right, so OBJ's embarrassed. He's getting called out. Looks like he didn't put his seatbelt on. Stewardess tried to wake him up. He's in a deep sleep. Can't wake him up. They feel a little bit uncomfortable putting his seatbelt on. They go back to the gate. They allege that he was non-compliant, whatever. Let's continue on.
You were terrorizing enticing me to get off of the plane. And I did everything to make this happen. I woke up, everyone's looking at me.
We're trying to accommodate you, right? Okay, pick up your phone. Listen, we're trying to accommodate you. Listen what's going to happen, brother. I want to avoid any embarrassments or any issues. The crew, the captain's the one that makes the final decision. Right now, for whatever reason, they're asking you to leave. They're going to rebook you on the next flight.
I don't want it.
Okay, well, this is what's going to happen.
As soon as I get off, you can do whatever you got to do.
We're going to have to deplane everybody on this plane, and then you're still going to get off.
That's fine.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, I would.
Ugh, is there anything more disgusting or entitled than that? You've got a reasonable police officer saying, hey, look, man, not our fault, but hey, the flight attendant wants you off. See you later, bud. And police officer gives OBJ a couple scenarios. Hey, look, man, just get off the flight. We'll get you rebooked. I mean, whatever. Next flight leaves an hour and a half. You can sleep in the terminal, right? The other option, hey, the whole plane has to deboard, right? All of these passengers, right? I don't know how many people. I'm guessing a couple hundred people on this flight. They all have to deboard with you, and the flight is already late, and oh, by the way, you have to get off as well. What does OBJ pick? Geez, I'll take entitlement for 500, Trebek. Get off the plane, dipstick. Nobody cares about you, OBJ. You had a great catch, 3 fingers, what was that, 2011? Nobody cares. Go back to flying private if you want to waste people's time. If anybody else was in that scenario, everybody in this scenario is being reasonable except for OBJ. I understand that he disagrees with the flight attendant's conclusion that he is unable to fly, but that is their decision. And instead of being a man and getting off the flight and going on with his life, what does he do? He has to make everybody else suffer for a situation that he caused. Makes you want to bang your head into a wall when you see people like him. And you're like, how does this person function in society?
Dickhead about what was going on.
All right, so we're going to have to go through that process. Then we're going to ask you, okay? All right, Macho. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay?
What's your name again?
Sergeant Garcia. Rene Garcia. Okay, bye. So listen, just make yourself comfortable. Once we deplaned, then I'm going to ask, and then we'll just walk off, okay? And hopefully they'll put you on the next flight, okay? All right, man.
Get off.
Talk to him, big dog. Look at me all you want. That shit not making me feel good. Look at me all you want. Standing up. You can look at me all you want, boy. Papa. This shit don't bother me.
Somebody chirping OBJ.
All right, let me stand up.
Hey.
Listen,
just follow.
there's nothing you can ever say to me, ever.
Yeah, that's it.
I appreciate it.
The only person I feel
Appreciate
bad
your
for
but that's just hey.
there's nothing you can ever say to me.
You don't have to talk to him.
Everything wrong with the world. Looking at me to get off a plane for you. I would never, ever in my life get off the plane for you. Specifically you. Maybe everybody else. I would get off the plane. That shit don't mean nothing to me. Ain't no way you could look at me. Ever.
Guys, just don't engage with them. Just don't engage. Quicker we get.
You gonna wait 40 minutes and I'm gonna be on a private plane home. Good. Yeah. Get your fat ass. Yeah, I will. Get your ass off the plane for a second. Yeah, I bet. Enjoy the cheese board on the way home. Get your ugly ass. Shit, I mean.
Wow. Not exactly the character or conduct you want to see from somebody that all of these kids look up to, right? The interaction I get OBJ doesn't like. Sounds like the guy in the red might have been eyeing him down, made a few comments. Frankly, does anybody else watching this video and knowing, okay, option 1, OBJ, get the hell off the plane. Option 2, yeah, everybody get off the plane, and OBJ too. Yeah, I wonder which option, if we're everybody else in America besides OBJ, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with option 1. That's quite reasonable. Instead, what do we got? We got OBJ chirping a senior citizen, calling him fat, calling him ugly, and then just adding insult to injury, the absolute entitlement cherry on top. Well, when you're waiting out in the terminal or eating your stinky cheese board on the way home, I'll be kicking it back, flying private. Nobody cares, OBJ. You may be a great football player, but your character needs significant improvement. This is absolutely shameful. Hopefully this is the start of you removing yourself from the bubble that is your own world and joining us here in society and realizing you don't have to be such a jerk. As OBJ is absolutely spitting venom at this guy, you got little kids there. They probably know who he is. Who wouldn't know this face, right? If you watch sports or people that look up to these guys, who wouldn't know that was OBJ, right? Probably the guy in the red shirt. That's probably the only guy that didn't know who he was. What's the final result here?
Yeah. He'll pick it up in LA. Okay? Come on. Let's go. Let's go.
Several individuals, alleging to be on his flight, complained on social media about his behavior causing a delay. American Airlines later released a statement on the incident. Odell also indirectly addressed the event on Twitter, saying, "Never in my life have I experienced what just happened to me. I've seen it all." His attorney also spoke out about what transpired.
All right, so that's a little bit disappointing. Police officer's like, hey, don't worry, bud. You're going to be able to get your luggage in LA. Y'all good? You need some help here? OBJ's like, I'm OBJ. Get out of my face. Nobody cares. And instead of getting even a tongue lashing from the police saying, what do the police say? Hey, man, super sorry about this. I'm sure, you've got plenty of other better things to do. Your luggage is in LA. We're going to leave you. Make sure if somebody's picking you up. The police are so nice to him. If this was average Joe Blow, this dude is getting hauled off this. There is no doubt in my mind. He's at least getting charged with a misdemeanor. No doubt in my mind. And oh, by the way, that person probably would have complied. Why? Because they are a normal citizen in the fabric of society. They don't say, screw all these peasants, I'm OBJ, which is essentially what he did. My hope is that OBJ can reflect on this situation and realize how absolutely self-centered and entitled his decision to make all the passengers deplane actually was, and hopefully he can move forward and become a better person because just a little bit of wishful thinking. And oh, by the way, American Airlines, try not to cancel all the flights out of Reagan. Seems like it's try to be better about the flights out of Reagan. Seems like everything's getting canceled and then we're stuck in some city.